Look at that. Before I even hit live, I've already got one viewer. Good, I guess it's just me and one other, whoever it might be. And watch, they're not going to say a word. I bet you I can encourage that one person that's watching me not to talk. No idea who it is. But I bet you I can encourage them never, not to, anything in my chat room. Right? Anyway, so I woke up this morning and found out the bridge is out, totally out. But you know, that bridge was so high up in the air, nobody could get to it. And what's the point of having a bridge if you don't use it? Oh, wait a minute. Time out. How did that... Oh my gosh, YouTube is absolutely messing with my views. I just caught them red-handed doing it again right now. My views went from 1 down to 0. I know who that other person is that's watching my video that's not commenting in the chat. That's why I was saying a funny little joke. And just now, YouTube made me go to 0 viewers. And I know that person did not drop off. Fascinating. So anyway, we're walking from here. The bridge is out. And you know what? We should be walking anyway. Because when we're walking, well, when we're walking, we have a choice. We can ask God to join us or not. And that's the one thing I've been doing a lot of thinking on. My sister Falcon Soar a few months back said something about being more positive and maybe talking about like the positive things to Abba because, well, my forte is getting rid of demons. And that can be a negative topic, so to speak. So I figured out something positive to talk about, such as encouraging others with their spiritual gifts. I can see people in the spirit with my gifts, so then that I can help other people with their gifts. Also, what stinks is I have to have parameters on my chat room, and in the description box, again, I explain why. It's because trolls have tried to ruin Holly Television. But they can't ruin Holly Television on internet radio. And my chat room over on internet radio is never touched. That's why I've been spending my time over on internet radio doing my broadcasts. Sometimes I wish I could have a second person on my broadcast with me so I can bat ideas back and forth. You know, like yesterday, I thought I had one of the best shows ever with Troy and King Halcor and Renata, and there were a whole bunch of you in the chat room as well. I thought it was one of the best discussions and one of the best shows I've been able to do recently. Half the topics none of us agreed on. We could all agree that Yahushua was born on earth, died for us, resurrected, and ascended to heaven. So all of us would be based in the truth. And this is why it stinks with the trolls, because they crashed Holly Television. My friends are not able, my new friends are not able to get into the chat room to have these discussions with me. And I think that at times it makes a really great show because it pulls information out of me. Other people are sharing their research and their studies. And none of us are yes men. And that's great, because we don't want to be around yes men. We're not going to be challenged if we're around people that just yes us to death. I wouldn't want somebody to always agree with me. like you need some of that, some differences and opposing opinions. What I cannot stand is when, and I terminated a friendship recently, no names. I should have done it sooner, and there were a lot of red flags, and my problem is not doing something about those red flags and cowering down. And I forget the second thing I was going to say. All right. So, let's get back to, I forgot, but I can't finish that thought because I drew a blank. When somebody has like I've been in situations where I've been the person that had an opposing opinion, and the other person, oh no, Holly, you're not right. Trust me, okay? Because I've been to college. You just trust me, Holly. No way would I trust another human being. I will only trust God. Hey, Rahab, it's great to see you. So this is what so just because somebody has an opposing opinion does not mean that I'm stupid. It does not mean that the other person is trying to start an argument. And I think opposing opinions can be good because it brings diversity. We don't ever want to pigeonhole ourselves and then, oh, what's my thought? Don't lose it. Like pigeonholes are, I just lost the thought. When I've had opposing opinions, most of the time I'm received well, and the other person and I were batting ideas around. We're engaging in a two-way conversation, and there's no emotions flying out of control. But then there's been occasion when I've had an opposing opinion and the other person just flat out belittled me and treated me like I was stupid because I didn't agree with them. What's that? Bullying, intimidation, gaslighting, contempt, condemnation. So I just thought yesterday was a great conversation. I liked it. I liked the show yesterday in the chat room. We were talking about demons. Says, trust me, I automatically, Rahab says, anyone who says, trust me, I automatically distrust. Yeah, I got to say the same thing. I try to tell people, just give me a shot to talk, but take everything I say right back to Abba. Just at least hear me out. But stand on Yahuwah's promises and trust only Yahusha. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I went to college, Holly. Yeah, good for you. So did I. Oh, yeah, but you went for accounting. It doesn't matter. I still went to college. What's your point? And I mean, if people waited until they got to college to take anatomy, that's a really late bloomer. I took anatomy literally when I was in junior high. What, 6th grade? 6th grade. Actually, no. In 4th grade, we learned about the birds and the bees. So we learned about anatomy in 4th grade. I didn't wait till college to take it. But opposing opinions are not a bad thing. And this is something Rahab could tell you. This is something I've worked so hard on. You know, I've worked hard on things such as knowing that people's recovery does not all look alike. And in recognizing that, I now recognize that everybody's walk next to Yahuwah does not look alike. You know, I've devoted my entire existence to Yahuwah. Other people have not. Remember that? And I'll tell you, Rahab, I'm going to say it again, honey. I'm so sorry to you. I never meant to bite the teacher's hand, so to speak. So to speak, for lack of better terms. But that was a really awkward time period for me. And I did not like it. And honestly, Rahab, it was pretty embarrassing too. Because it's stuff I should know already. And here I am, like, with a narrow tunnel view. And it was the wrong view. And I've really had to slow down and keep an eye on that. To know our recoveries look different. And that even means our walks look different. Not to have unhealthy expectations of other people. So going through that phase of my recovery, Rahab, I was really embarrassed and humiliated feeling. You know, I had to learn and recognize things, and knowing that people's recoveries don't always look alike. Well, you know, come to think of it, it makes sense because a lot of demonic attacks don't look alike. Hang on a second. Hang on a second, Rahab. Don't make a move, Rahab. Where is it? Go to channel. That's a sock account. Report user. Okay. These sock accounts lead back to your ID. Okay, you deleted him, Rahab? That's nasty. Okay, I hid the user. I hid the user. And now I'm going to report the user. Nasty. Just absolute filth and nastiness. All right. Report. What did I call that file? Report. Found it. I have something typed up. Saying sexual comments. Okay, now what do I need? I need the copy of this show. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. This is what I mean about they ruin my broadcast, because now look at what I got to sit here and do. Paste. Now I can okay, now I got my letter. Copy that. Where's YouTube? Report user. It all fits too. Thank you. Okay, I reported that person. Okay, sexual harassment. I put sexual harassment in the comment. I put here what I did. This is what I did, Rahab. Oh, and the important thing, Rahab, is to actually put the link of your video that they're coming into. So like when you go to report user, and YouTube pulls up that command box and wants you to write out a description, it's very helpful to put the link of your video in that description box. I learned the hard way. The one day I kid you not, in a 24-hour period, I had to block 200 trolls. Well, 200 sock accounts. It's 2 teenagers, and I believe it's not 1, but 2 adults, possibly 3 adults that are doing this to Holly Television. It's a group of people that I had the displeasure of meeting and talking to that's doing this to me. And I don't want to be their friends. They're not super soldiers. I know for a fact, Rahab, they've never been in the dumps, not in the capacity I have. Rahab, they were never used in the capacity you were used. They're a bunch of fake fraud liars, old lady people sitting behind a computer that are really bored. And they come up with fantastical stories, Rahab. So that's who destroyed my chat room. And look at the numbers. You see it go from 2 people up to 4 people. That's them with their sock accounts. So let me get back. Stupid. No, Rahab. Not just you, but like other people. You and I were discussing a person the other day. You and I were discussing victims and who we would not refer victims to. Even those people that are religious. They're even saying ninnies. I got my other parts of my other friends saying ninny too. But if you look at the definition, it's not name calling. The Bible says foolish virgins. Well, I know damn well these old hag ladies are not virgins, okay? So I'm not giving them that title. So the Bible says foolish virgins. Okay, well, ninny is a foolish person, unwise. Foolish person, ninny. Hag is another word for witch. So I'm not name calling. I am using descriptive words to explain who they are, also known as a goat. Thank you, they're goats. So, okay, getting back to the command box. A ninny goat, I like that, ninny goat. So when on the command box, when you report a user and you give a description, sometimes it's very helpful to put the link of your video in that description box. So when you say this person is coming into my account using sock accounts, please stop the IP, help. Put the link of your video in there. Because one day I literally had to block 200 accounts. And it was a couple of kids with a couple of adults. I think they used their gaming console, some gaming console somehow to generate these automatic IDs and then to come into my chat room to ruin it. Well, 30 of them out of that 200, 30 of them I actually reported user and sent out the report user. Okay, for 30 of them. 5 of them, I actually filled the box out correctly because on 5 of them, I put the link of my video saying this is the chat room they're ruining. And one of their main IP addresses got the copyright strike. So I'll just keep reporting that. One day, Rahab, I'm going to come in my chat room and I'm going to focus on them. And we're going to get rid of them. When I do that, we will need screenshots. And I'm going to have to sit behind my computer, pull up every channel, and then go through and report user, fill out the description box, and send it in. And then hopefully YouTube will shut down their IP address and say you're no longer welcome to use our services. I'm praying. It's 2 teenage kids, a boy and a girl, and it seems like they got their whole science class in on it, but it turns out it's a boy, a girl. They have other siblings, but only the one boy and girl live together, and it's a group of people. And I must have been exposed to super soldier projects. How do I know all this stuff, Holly? I'm just so smart. I can read medical journals. I'm just so smart. I must have been in the super soldier projects. Tell them, Holly. No. I'm not vouching for anybody. I only vouch for James Michael Casbolt, Aaron McCullum, Kieran Lee Perrin. I don't vouch for anybody else. The bridge is out. Oh, it's not on your account. That's okay, Rahab. That's okay. You know how I got the description box, Rahab? Was I literally had to go to their channel and then click on their page to get the report user. And that's how I pulled it up to get the command box. And you can see they're still trying to get in my chat. When my views jump up and then jump down, that's them. That's them. I guess they woke up. I guess they're sick and tired of watching their gay porn. Read Reddit took. Okay. Okay. So, but thank you for your help. But one day I'll come here without parameters on my chat, and I'll have a couple of people with me, and we will clean up my own chat room. There's a tech I would like to write to him. Called Nerve Gorilla. He may know how it's possible that they're doing this and maybe have advice of what I could do, but I have not written him yet. I've had so much other stuff going on. I haven't had a chance, and this is a priority and I haven't had a chance to do it, but it's a couple of teenage kids and a couple of adults. I don't want to be friends with the adults, so now they trash Holly Television. They're fakes, frauds, and liars. One of the ladies that's trolling me, she wants me to give her a public apology. No, this lady's been literally obsessed with me since 2016. She's stolen my testimony. Now all of a sudden, after she got talked to me, now all of a sudden, gene splicing was used in her creation, and she comes from the same projects Holly does. And no, she does not. No, she does not. You ask her. So tell me about Stargate. Oh, well, we remote viewed. And that's all she can say about it. She can't say who she was with, the assignments they did, where they went, nothing. Oh, Holly, I was used as an assassin. No, you weren't. SRI is about remote viewing. You were not used as an assassin. I'm so sick and tired of fakes, frauds, and liars, Safi. I'm sick of it. I don't have anything to do with the victim community because the majority of people that are in the community are lying. Just flat out lying. I have an MK Ultra support system. It went from 200 down to 38 people because everybody else, because we were only able to vet 38 out of 200 people that were really actually a victim or survivor. Yeah, and you know what? I think too, because that's, you know, I know that they use me in Pizzagate, but the primary thing I was used at was as a soldier. So I really have that soldier mentality about me. And it was just recently in talking to you where we had both said, yeah, that attitude comes out in your posts. I can see it in your posts. And I don't mean to be a bitch. I'm not trying to be a mean, cruel person. But, you know, that's also my diary. So, like, that's the only positive place that I can get that out in a productive manner, that it's not hurting anybody else and it's not hurting me. I'm getting it out. And then Abba I always ask him to humble me. Just humble me, get rid of any attitude. I don't want an attitude, you know, but like if you go look in my... You're going to appreciate this, Safi. And no, it's not obsessive compulsive. You know me. You've had a direct hand in my recovery. Positive one, too. Full reintegration, baby. But so you know me intimately. This is not compulsive obsessive disorder. Um, these are my socks. Okay, like everything is neat and has its place. You know how like in boot camp they make you make your bed and it's got to be perfect? Well, my bed's not perfect, but it's made. That's a soldier's drawer. Now, don't get me wrong, I am anal. I can be anal about things, like cleaning. But yeah. And the thing is Safi, I've always been like that. Like, with my socks and stuff, like, because when I open the drawer, I want to grab two socks that match each other. I don't have to stand over that drawer picking out socks. Same with underwear. I want, certain underwear for certain occasions. I got my granny panties for when I turn into a pumpkin that 1 week a month. And then I got other panties that, maybe I'd want to use those for skirts because they cover up more. And I got they're all separated. Even the clothes in my closet. Like, it's got to be like this orderly thing. And it's not about being compulsive. It's just got to be orderly. I hate matching socks. I like the mismatching. I'm okay with mix matching my socks now. But what was I gonna say? That's what I was gonna say. That's why when I go to Walmart, I buy guy socks, but I buy them all the same. So if I grab two socks, they're all the same socks. They're gonna be. But I love my socks. I've got ankle socks, shin socks, knee socks that come up to my knees, and my all-time favorite, I got socks that go up to my thighs. So during the summer, I'm always cold because I'm so skinny, but I can still enjoy wearing shorts to look like everybody else, but I'll put my thigh-high socks on. And of course, I wear my sandals with my socks. And I stay warm and I can still look like everybody else dressed for summer. I mean, for me to walk around in heavy clothes, I look like something's wrong with me. I'm taking my medicine. You ain't anything above the ankle. Sometimes the ankle socks that I have now, I don't really like them. They go up to my shins. They're too tight. They leave marks around my ankle. I used to be like an 80s chick. I would always wear my socks on the outside of my pants. Now looking back, I think it looks pretty stupid. But I would always take the back of my pants, fold the extra material on my pants, and then pull up those big, fat, ruffly socks over my pants. No wonder why nobody wanted to date me in high school. I totally looked like a Joey chick. Up until my junior year. My junior year, I changed. Like, I didn't style my hair anymore. I just left it down. I didn't use hairspray anymore. Nothing. Up over the shoe. That barely come. Oh, I see. I love my socks. They keep me warm. That's why I like the ones that go up to my knee. because the ones that go up to my knee, what I can do is I can push them down around my ankle. And if I get cold, then I can pull them up to my knee, and then it keeps me warmer. 80s cuff, you know, to get the peg look. Yep. I wasn't good with the 80s cuff. It took me a while. It took me a while to figure. You take the extra material, fold it over, and then you roll it up from the bottom, and it should stay. You see the viewers again, they jump up to 11, drop down to 6. So warmth usually isn't the problem. I still get cold even in the summertime. My friend, back before I turned my life around, my friends would be like, what's wrong with you? Pull your socks down. I'd be like, no, I'm cold. Because I would I would leave, like I said, the knee socks just down around my ankles, but when I got cold, I'd pull them up by my knees. You look stupid. Pull your socks down. No, I'm cold. I don't look stupid. How come baseball players can wear their socks up to their knees, but I can't? I don't like this strain. The terpenes do not work for me. It really doesn't work for me, and I'm so frustrated that it doesn't work. If I go to the dispensary, most of the time it doesn't work. I look things up. The terpenes don't work. I know the brands that I know. Safi, Durban Poison, the terpenes, awesome. Purple Haze, the terpenes, awesome. Can I get those things? No. But those are the terpenes that work. Durban Poison makes me laugh. Mine took us off. Put antidepressant, give me Durban Poison. That's what works. Your cold cause you lack fly. Yes, I agree. That's why I'm cold, because I lack cushion, baby. I was so happy to talk to you the other day, Rahab. And I'm sorry for being MIA. You know, I'm always here. Like, I find myself apologizing to people for being a crappy friend because I'm MIA. But I don't want to bother people. I don't know. So, and the dispensary is expensive, $20 a gram. And the black market, I can't get what works, but the black market is great. 10 a gram. And my friend is extra generous and nice to me and really looks out for me. I appreciate it. It's just getting the right terpenes to work for me in the medicinal ways I'm looking for. Anti-pain, anti-anxiety, get me to eat, make me happy. Marijuana is the best antidepressant there is. You don't need a pill. Go get the plant. And it's a seed-bearing plant. You want to laugh your tuchus off? Go smoke. Everybody, when they smoke, laughs. Or they eat and fall asleep, but they feel good. You cannot get that from psychotropic medications. They make you want to kill yourself. They keep you depressed. It's like, in my opinion, it's like nuclear waste in a capsule. That's where they got rid of all their Fukushima stuff. They've been packing it in our capsules, telling us it's medicine, and meanwhile, no, it's nuclear waste. Oh, it works. I was one of those people on pills, so I can say that. because I used to be that, but I'm not like that anymore. Yep, since January 4th, 2014. Fired all my doctors, quit all my pills. Then by May 17th of 2014, I got sealed by Abba. Then December 12th, 2014, I just downright married him. Oh, Safi, can I tell you something? I've been getting revelation. And I can't believe that. Thank you, Abba. Thank you, Abba. I love you, Abba. Please be with us and join me for this broadcast. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to make sure you're with us. And I love you. I love you. And thank you. It's all in his timing. It's all in his timing. So I feel like I'm a late bloomer. I feel like I'm really slow in the uptake. But, okay. I come from Montauk, and I believe I've time traveled. My memory is so fragmented. I kind of remember the gates. So I heard that when people time travel often, that they kind of have to put markers in their life, such as maybe their younger version would be left a note by an uncle, and the uncle says, listen, you need to make sure you have 3 kids. Now, the person was already aimed at that, but you need to make sure that that happens, that the person has those 3 kids. So everything you've done as far as time traveling up until they're an old person, you need to keep it in place. You need to make fail safes just to make sure that that person lives their original life. We have a project called Project Looking Glass, and in that project, I believe that they show you what's going to happen. They show you the future. They show you the future of a person's life, and I believe I was in that too. So December 2011, that's when I actually escaped the dumps. To backtrack a little, in 2008, I believe it was Casbolt, somebody on my Black Ops team, sent me a message while I slept for 3 weeks at night to program me, to make me think Joseph Mangley released me. Programmed in, programmed out. But anyway, getting to December 2011, this is what I'm getting at. But listen, Safi, I want to say that this is my choice. I've always wanted to find God. So I choose this. And I think even my altars back when I was torn to pieces, they were choosing Abba too. So I just want to say point blank, this is what I want as an individual. So December 2011, I believe it was Casbolt with 2 other high-ranking soldiers. The second I'll tell you in private, but not public. The second high-ranking, and you already know this, but anyway, the second high-ranking soldier, he too was from Black Operations specifically, and he was a part of some of the projects that I was on. I don't think I was on Stargate. I know I was on Seagate. I don't know all the project names that I was a part of. So anyway, there were 3 soldiers there. There was Commander Casbolt, then another soldier from Black Operations, and then a third one from another branch of the military that I had also been sent out on assignments and missions with. We were sent out together to get rid of things that don't belong on the surface of the earth, like Bigfoot, like that predator alien looking thing. All right, I'm on a tangent. That second officer that night, in December 2011, he turned around, Rahab, and he said to me in a funny, joking voice that I will never forget, because I've heard it one other time after that, but that second Black Operations soldier turned around and said, if you love God so much, Holly, why don't you just marry him? I got two things to say that. Number one, Rahab, and I know that you can read between the lines. Number one, it was just revealed to me, like recently, that I believe that officer said that to me to make sure, because that was December 2011. December 2014, I married Yahuwah. Probably to the day, because when I flew out to Colorado, it was at the beginning of December in 2011. It was the first time I ever saw the moon light up from the bottom. I took a picture of it. No, I think it's two things. No. I only say no to that. I don't think it was God waking me up. I think it was them making sure that I stayed on the right path. That was a marker to make sure, because I've time traveled, and to make sure I stick to my original life. Now, the thing is in December 2011, they asked me what I wanted to do. And I point blank told them, I want to be Yahweh's seal. I want to be one of the 144,000. I want to make it through the 7-year tribulation. I want to see his return on a cloud. I want that to be me. I'm prepared. Get me prepared, Abba. So I had already told him I wanted to do that. But the second thing, when he said, if you love him so much, why don't you marry him? Well, that's going to catch my attention. Number one, because I wanted God. And I talked to those 3 soldiers, telling them about my death experience in March 2007 and how these 2 white arms resurrected me. I remember telling these 3 officers, I'm on these pills. I want to get off the pills. I want to turn my whole life around. I cannot stand the boyfriend I'm with. I want him out of my house. I remember telling them that. But anyway, that second officer that turned around and said that, Rahab, he was the one that I would say I fell for when I was in the dumps. He's the one that I have my Top Gun story for. He was the soldier that I fell in love with back then when I was active. Not now. I married and moved on, okay? So everybody else is married and moved on too. So let's keep that in mind with all due respect. However, this is my life story, my testimony. I'm going to share my testimony, and that's the only thing I mean by it. I am not, to be clear, I am not still in love with that soldier. I am healed and moved on, and so is he. But coming from him, yeah, that caught my attention. Because I would have shrugged it off if Casbolt said it. I would be like, okay, whatever. I got to take orders from you. That doesn't mean I have to listen to you outside of those orders. You know, you might be commander, but outside of that, I ain't listening to you. It would have been like sibling rivalry. It would be hard not to love your fellow soldier. It's an intense situation. You know what? I don't think I set the parameters of my chat room up properly. I don't know if I put in 5 months or if it's on 5 minutes. So, this is a good morning show. So, I think they set it to make sure I stayed on my life's path because I did time travel. But Abba, honestly, Abba got in touch with me. The second I escaped the dumps, Rahab, I went off seeking him. I really went off seeking him 2012, 2013. I always leave out those 2 years, and I shouldn't, because so much transpired. Abba and I were talking. In 2012, I was seeking him. He kept saying, "On the way, on the way." I was looking up the elites, the New World Order, stuff that's happening in our world, and also some Jesus loving videos, and it'd say, "He's the way, Yahusha's the way." I'd be like, "Yeah, I get you're the way, but how?" So it took me a long time. 2013, I started making changes. On my own, I got rid of the bad boyfriend on my own. I did have to ask the help of an entire police department and a catering service to help me escape, but I got out. I had to plot to get out of that relationship, and I had it plotted for 6 months before it took place. So yeah, since I was a little kid, I always wanted to find God, and I was so dead set determined. And so 2013, got rid of the bad boyfriend. Started smoking weed because Abba said, "I made that seed-bearing plant for you. I made marijuana for you, Ali. Go use it." So I got rid of the bad boyfriends, cleaned up my life. Started to. By January 4th, I quit all the pills, all the prescriptions. Like, I was quit by January 4th. I actually stopped a month before then. I actually stopped December 2013 with the pills and doctors, but by the 4th, I was off of everything. So, yeah, then I lost my home in 2014. 2014 was pivotal, because Abba tapped my shoulder at the beginning of 2000. Okay, once my pills were quit, it was like that January. By springtime 2014, Abba had tapped my shoulder and he said, "Holly, do you remember the demonic attacks you suffered as a kid?" No. Oh. Well, then all the demonic attacks started again. A little while later, one morning, I was like, Abba, I remember the demonic attacks. I was like, Abba, these demons are back. And I wake up in the morning and things are right in front of my face, and I have to blink a whole bunch of times. And then finally they sink back into the scenery, into the corner of the wall. I remember, but Abba, I can't believe I forgot. Abba, there's kids in a cage being electrocuted, and I'm one of them. I can't believe I forgot all of that. How could I have forgotten? How could I have not remembered? Oh, 2013, let me rewind. 2013, Abba, I had gotten a book named Embraced by the Light by Betty Eady. I had kicked out the boyfriend's bad company, got rid of that crap. I read that book, and I remembered the time from before I was born. So Abba, I was seeking Abba. I was getting to know him, looking up angels and demons, looking up Jesus loving shows and Bible studies. I was definitely reading my Bible. But by 2014, everything was like full swing. Abba was talking to me. I don't know how else to say it, but I was talking to him and he was talking back. He was talking to me and I was talking back to him. And that's how come I even got that profile picture, was because honestly, the backstory to that, how that ever happened, I was literally gnashing my teeth in that picture and crying. You can't see it behind the sunglasses. And you can tell that I was under demonic attack in that picture. You can tell because if you look at my teeth when I smile, my teeth look different. I've got pictures from that trip where I'm taking selfies, but in the clouds above me, it literally looks like dragons are flying through the clouds. I'll put them up on Facebook in a little while. But I took like 700 pictures of that trip. I went up to Kennebunkport, Maine. I was 2 miles away from Bush's house. I had no idea that I was an active super soldier. But anyway, that day I was up in Kennebunkport, Maine with a bunch of people. We were staying in a mansion. And it was one of the smallest houses in Kennebunkport. But at that time, I think they were renting it out for like 20 grand a month. Because it was a smaller house and all the other houses were huge. So they'd get 40 grand a month. But anyway, just to rent out a house in Kennebunkport, Maine, that's what you're looking at. That day, I had gone outside to play with Keeper, and we were in the front yard of the house playing. Well, I didn't realize it. That's not what I asked. I said go to channel. Okay. Where's the other one? There's a third one around here. Hang on a second. That wasn't it. Who was that other person? There's that one. Thought there was a third ID. Thank you, Rahab. I'm doing that right now. And they're blocked. I thought there was a third one. I thought there was a third ID. Hang on a second. Copy. Okay. Go to channel, report user, report user. Yeah, I know it doesn't have any live content because it's a sock account. All right, I need copy. Hang on, I hate, this is a pain in the neck. Paste. Does everything fit? Yes, it does fit. Okay, now I can copy that. Submit. Thank you. Another sock account. You know, there's somebody stalking me that has that same name. These are all sock accounts. All of them. Thank you. I reported them, blocked them. I'm not going to change this screen, but I should look up what the parameters are that I set. Maybe I made a mistake. Otherwise, probably what's happening is I put in 5 months, but the month has now changed. So these trolls have been subscribed to me for a long time. Oh, that's what it is. Oh my gosh, Safi. I've run this the whole time with no restrictions on my chat room. That's pretty light trolling. Because all the other times, I kid you not, I would have had to have blocked 50 to 75. And right now, my chat room is completely wide open, no parameters. That's pretty light trolling. But you see, but you know, Rahab, you see how much effort and it takes and how it ruins me talking. It ruins what we say in the chat room. Other people don't want to talk when they see those kind of comments. I don't want to talk to a bunch of brats. I don't want to talk to a bunch of old ladies that are obsessed with me and my testimony. Ninnies, hags, whatever they are. Brats, ninnies, hags. And these people, they call themselves Christian, Rahab. I kid you not. All of this is going to go back to your IP address. You're just being stupid. And you can tell it's from a brat. Hang on, I'm going to fix this in a minute. That's why. All right, I put up the parameters. Turned on subscribers only. You got to be subscribed for 5 months to speak. So that should shut them up. All right, now we can get back. Oh, you can see that too, Rahab? You can see that white screen. Only channel subscribers of 5 months or longer. You can see that? Cool. All right, so that should like give us back the chat room. That should give us back the chat room. Get the brats and the hags out of here. What were we talking about? I was right in the middle of a sentence with you, talking about Abba. Abba did reach out to me, but it wasn't December 2011. I think that soldier said, well, if you love him so much, why don't you marry him? I think that was like they were trying to make sure I stayed on my life's course. And my life's course was I was always going to pick Abba. I was always going to pick Abba. Like, I was always going to do what it took to change my life around. And I'm still in the process. I don't have everything down pat. The second I start get going good, yeah, I have a bunch of days where I fall in the gutter. It just happened to me, and now I'm pulling myself out of that gutter again. I still want to get mommy's telephone number, but nobody's giving me mommy's telephone number. You know why? They don't want me to talk to these brats' kids because Mommy will find out the truth about the group of friends she has, and then mommy will stop supplying her multi-million dollars to all of these other old hags that are just using her for her money. So much so they're willing to bash me to make sure I never get to speak to mommy so she find out the truth. There's a group of people fighting over mommy's multi-million dollars, and they're willing to step on anybody and everything that they have to step on just to make sure that they get that money. That's not doing God's work. When you got people fighting over your money, you're not doing God's work. That's not the gift of hospitality. When you're dangling money over people's heads and a bunch of people are fighting over your money, so much so that they are destroying Holly Television and stepping on Holly to do it. I still want mommy's phone number. And there's obviously something wrong if mommy only has 2 out of 4 kids. Now, it's not that these kids are becoming of age, making a decision themselves to leave home and doing whatever it takes to leave home. I think that somebody's truly not matured until they're 20 years old. A person, I think, is fully matured and really an adult when they're 24 years old. 18 is a little young. But when kids, 16, 17, 18, they start pushing away from their parents, you get that. I did the same thing. Once I got a job, it was like, get out of my way. I'm paying for my own car, paying for my own stuff. Excuse you, I don't need your rules. That's it. This is my life now. So parents have to know when to let go. However, when a parent is losing custody of kids, that does in fact raise a red flag. And it should have been raising a red flag to me for the past 10 years when it came to some people online. I mean, they're losing their kids from a young age. There's something wrong. I'm glad I didn't have kids. The cerebral cortex, which helps with decision making, doesn't develop until age 25. Okay, so I was close. I said 24. You know why I had? Because I remember one day I was sitting at a bar. I kid you not, sitting there with my husband, and all of a sudden it came across me, and I was like, man, I have been a kid up until now. And just the maturity hit me. I actually felt maturity hit me. I was 24, 25. And around there. I asked Abba the other day, what did they do to me in the Dumbs? Abba, I know you're merciful and compassionate and generous and loving and full of life and full of giving and full of nurturing and full of generosity. I know you're like that by nature, and he is generous by nature. He really is. By nature, that is. But I was like, Abba, what did they do to me in the Dumbs that you are willing to dote over me just a little bit more? Abba, it feels to me, and I'm probably wrong, and most likely I am wrong, but it feels to me, Abba, like you dote over me. Like you just spoil me silly rotten. What did they do to me in the Dumbs for me to deserve this from you? Now, there's a lot of reasons for him to be compassionate, merciful, and generous. And I don't think he treats me any different or any better than one of his other kids or any servants. I am saying that he makes me feel that special. Like I matter and like I count, and he makes me feel great. But I asked him, what did they do to me that you know, God, that I cannot remember? You knew Abba was the only way. I'm glad I married Abba, Rahab. I love my life. I loved him. I'd love my life a lot better if I get my butt to a dentist. I got to get over my fears and hesitations. Okay, it's not exact. It's like saying puberty starts at 12 for some, but it starts earlier or later. It's an estimate. Yeah, I was probably about 24 and a half years old about. Yeah, because it's like a reminder of the Montauk chair. That's a reminder of a lot of stuff. And just because they got TVs strapped onto these dentist chairs does not make them better. And they've got these massage things in dentist chairs. It's like, listen, I don't want the massage going because then my face will be moving and the dentist is not going to be doing a good job. Yeah, I got to find a dentist that will be willing to give me an anti-anxiety pill such as Xanax to calm down my stress. I had to get $40,000 worth of work done in my mouth at one point. And I think it was 40 grand. I don't know. Maybe it was 30 grand. I had to pay out of pocket, and I had gotten an inheritance. And the first thing I did was go to the dentist with that inheritance. I spent it right. I need a small fortune to go to the dentist now because I need 2 root canals. Anyway, back then, I was not awake to all of this, Rahab. I was still, oh my God, I was still active. I was still active as a soldier back then. I was not awake to all of this, so the dentist was not a problem for me. But the dentist always gave me the gas. Because I'm a pain patient, they'd always give me the gas and make sure they kept me comfortable in the chair. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Abba, please provide for Rahab. Please get her what she needs. Please take care of her and her teeth. In Yahushua's name, Selah. There's other people out there I know too. They have teeth problems. I pray for them. And I also, if you don't mind, Abba, add myself to that list. Because like the whole up here is pain and numb. Pain and numb right now for me. From here over. So I got to do something with mine. Yeah, the birds. I started feeding the birds. When I get my disability check, I'm going to go buy bird feed again. And I'm going to throw it out in the yard. The birds and the squirrels, sit and watch them come get the food. I think it's so cute. My neighbor's like, oh, you're going to get rats. Not with Rumble, I'm not. They do have a certain song. That was one thing, Rahab. I hated it in Germantown, Maryland. I hated it in Tennessee. Because it's a different song. Look at that sun. Look at the chemtrails, the scalar waves. That's what's dehydrating us. That's what's making our teeth rot out of our mouth. That's why, you know, that's another thing, you know. I don't think that the targeted individual community realizes the direct energy weapons that they're talking about are coming from the Gwen Towers. There's your direct energy weapons. Everybody's being hit across the board. Stop being so selfish. It's not just them. It's everybody across the board. That's what's doing it, Safi, is those Gwen Towers. plus malnutrition. Malnutrition. I stopped taking care of myself when Keeper and Sava died. I was so devastated over losing them. So right now, Rahab, honestly, I'm pulling out of it. Slowly, I'm pulling out of that funk. Losing Keeper and Sava was like losing my grandparents, like losing my attorney. Losing my stepdad. You know who I was happy to lose? The ex. I'm still throwing parties over that one. I gotta be honest, like, oh, every morning, Rahab, I wake up, I'm so happy not to have that ex in my house, not to be by those religious fanatics, and to be back at home on my own, in my own place. I'm so glad I'm not with that ex. Oh my God. I don't know why. I should have always just left him as the drug dealer friend that he always was. I should have never dated him. I should have never let him move into my 5-bedroom house in Long Valley. But you know what? I would have still been there. But you know what, Rahab? That place would have been very expensive. Because the rent may have only been $750, but the place took oil. I would have had to come up with at least I had to come up with at least $600 a month for oil. At least the water ran on electricity. That house was so expensive. So expensive. It was big, beautiful, everything. What I did not like was that the landlord lived on the property. So the landlord thought that he could tell me what I could and could not do in my own house. He doesn't have that right. So he didn't know the laws, but I did. And I would tell him, you can't tell me no. You cannot tell me that I cannot have somebody at my house. Nope. You don't get to do that. If you don't like my company, too damn bad. Too damn bad. But I'm glad I don't live there because it was so expensive. I'm glad I don't live there because I have more privacy here. It's cheaper here. And I mean, this is a better place here. A lot better place. I'm not living on a horse farm, so I don't have to deal with people coming. Like, there were always cars driving past the house to go down the horse barn, and like, it was traffic, a lot of traffic. So no, I didn't have privacy like I've got privacy here. I've got more privacy walking in the park than I did walking on that horse farm. You know, and to live in a place where you don't have privacy, I don't like it. Like, I love being here. I'm so happy I'm not with the religious fanatics, the Christian religious fanatics in Germantown, Maryland. That was horrible. They took my medicinal cannabis away from me because they abused it. So because they abused it, it meant that nobody else could use it medicinally. And because she lived as a lesbian, nobody could smoke it. But it wasn't the weed that made her a lesbian. She's still a lesbian to this day, and she doesn't smoke weed now. You can't blame weed for your sexual dysfunction. That store better get cottage cheese today. What are you doing? I had my first Rahab. They were horrible. The utilities and taxes, yep. So, okay, that rent was $750. My rent now is $850. But I only have to pay my electric bill, which is about $120 a month. In the winter, it goes up to $200 because my thermostat. me is broken and I like it Aruba-like temperatures. I can go a little haywire with the heat, but it's cheaper here. And I don't have problems with mold and mildew. Well, I clean my house. If I clean my house once a year, I have no problem with mold or mildew. This house was built in 1880. For lack of better terms, I've definitely exorcised this house. Nah. When I moved in, I was told that this house was used as a funeral parlor. So I did some spiritual warfare to clean this place up. And it worked. Someone's hungry. Yes. Oh, Rahab, I gotta tell you, I finally made headway. The month of February, I started crying because I actually lost weight while I was trying to gain weight. And I was like, at this point, I'm done. Well, anyway, what's working? I kid you not, I found what's working. Okay. I don't like plant-based stuff. The plant-based stuff, all you do is go to the bathroom. It's like you have a cup. Say you take a cup of plant-based stuff. Okay, well, you wind up going into the bathroom, and like 3 cups come out. This plant-based stuff is for the birds, okay? Just give me like animal fat. Thank you very much. But this max weight gain, it's got over 1,200 calories for one serving. Okay, Safi. This, I found what works. It took me a while. I make one of these shakes. I put 4 eggs and a banana into it. I like the chocolate. I've fallen in love with the chocolate. I'm not big on the vanilla anymore because it tastes too much like peanut butter. So 4 eggs and a banana with 1 serving. Then I got to stay hydrated. I got to make sure I get at least a half a gallon of water in. I need more than that. And 2 meals, I'm starting to gain weight. And my 2 meals would be like a dinner, which would be noodles and chicken or rice and chicken or steak. And then, also picking during the day, having snacks. My kidney and adrenal gland don't hurt. Like, they're hurting right now because I'm starving and I'm thirsty. But I finally figured out what works. I don't have a fork. All right, I don't have sea salt, so don't comment on my salt intake. It's got iodine in it, all right? There's nothing wrong with iodine. Look at this. Ooh, yummy. I splurged the other day. I bought this. Do you know how much this costs? Too much money is how much it costs. It's like $9. I use regular salt. And you're right. Thank you, Safi. Alba, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's fresh mozzarella salad. So it's got sun-dried tomatoes and fresh herbs. Infused non-GMO oil. Oh, God, I can't stand when they do that infused stuff. So it's fresh mozzarella cheese and herbs and oil. $9. To get fresh mozzarella cheese, you're looking at spending $6. Cheese is so expensive. It's retarded. I love dairy. I'd be lost without cheese. So I splurged the other day, and this is what I bought. And I felt guilty that I spent $9 on fresh mozzarella cheese. But I wanted to eat it. Like, I haven't had it in a long time. Usually I'll get fresh mozzarella cheese and just add the seasonings myself. Is there an Italian market? I don't know. I've lived here for 4 years, Safi, and I don't know. Like, I've lived here for 4 years and I still don't know. You know, Safi, what I wish I could do is just sometimes walk around town. But I don't live in a place that you walk around town. You need a car to get around, you know? If I could walk around town, I could see everything that's... Oh, this is like... I'm going to have grease all over the place. Or oil all over. Abba, those reports that Safi and I sent in, Abba, please let your will be done, and I pray it be in your will that the IP address that all these sock accounts are coming from are shut down from YouTube. In Yahushua's name, Selah. If I could have reported those 200 IDs, the sock accounts, YouTube would have let them back to the IP address, because those sock accounts all go back to an IP address. I need the iodine. You're right. And there's nothing wrong with table salt. Today I'm going to find myself a dentist and make an appointment. I have to, because I really do hurt. There's malnutrition, yeah. Malnutrition is one of them. One of my problems. That's another thing. That's another thing. If it was malnutrition that stopped my pumpkinhood, I would have gotten it back this past month. I only had 3 days where I was off, Safi. I had 2 weeks on point. So I'm getting better, where I'll have more days that I do better that are turning into like a full week doing good eating and hydration. And then I'll only spend a couple of days screwing up. It used to be like 3 days good, 3 days bad, 3 days good, like always this tug of war. But now I'm starting to get like a good weekend for as far as like eating and hydration and exercise. But it like all day long, Rahab, all day long I'm at it. Yeah, but to do better, all right. I thought I would be happy to get rid of my period, and I had an adverse reaction to losing it. But I think it may be menopause, because it hasn't come back. Maybe I just need a couple of more months where I actually get back my 20 pounds and my pumpkinhood will return. But the way it looks now, I just may as well face facts. I'm just hopeful to get it back. I will say this. Well, I have a vow of celibacy and I don't date. But Abba has told me, Holly, you can still get pregnant. So if I can still get pregnant, this is easier for me to handle. Does that make sense? Like every month I feel my body go through the hormonal changes. It's just that the period itself does not happen, but I still feel like my body's going through those motions every month of releasing an egg I can feel the pain in my back when my body releases an egg. But I took it pretty hard, Rahab, and I didn't think I'd take it hard. And thank you for saying I'm doing better, because it makes me want to push to do better. And you'll just food obsessed and hungry all the time for a while. That's your body's survival mechanism until you have enough fat. Okay. And I noticed I'm hungry all the time. Well, once I get eaten, yeah, it's like 2 hours later, I'm hungry again. So, but with this plant-based stuff to make it stick to my ribs, because in February it just kept flushing through my system and I lost weight. I started adding some milk, because milk can get expensive, but I make it mostly with water, but I add some milk, the 4 eggs, banana. The whole shake sticks to my ribs now. I can feel it sticking. It's not flowing through me. But I had to add the animal fat to get the plant-based shake to work. I don't like this plant-based shake. There was somebody, oh, Holly, since you drink soda, drink the plant-based soda. No, it sucks. The plant-based stuff sets my irritable bowel syndrome off. I wind up in an IBS attack. Give me animal fat. There's nothing wrong with animal fat. You know, Woodward TV, WTV, he just did something on his carnivore diet. Just to keep eating when you're hungry. That's it. And my kidney and adrenal gland, they were hurting because I was hungry. Not only dehydration, but I found out, Rahab, they were hurting because I was hungry. And what's the one thing victims and survivors are always suffering from? Hunger. They're hungry all the time because they're drained. They're living on like full steam ahead. They're living on adrenaline. They're living in survival mode. They're hungry. It's all made in a plant. Yeah, so I got to stay away from that plant-based stuff because it actually gives me an irritable bowel syndrome attack. So rather than switching from like Coca-Cola to a plant-based soda, I just quit drinking soda. Solved. You know, like, yep, been there. And still hurt when I get, really? I've never had that kind of pain before, Rahab. Thank you so much. And I know that you spent a lot of time, a lot of energy with regarding my diet. And I think I finally found my niche, so to speak. I think I finally found what works, I look forward to these shakes now. And because I add animal fat in it, then the plant-based shake fits. Oh, also, Rahab, I found out that I can have whey shakes. Whey does not bother me. Whey sticks to my ribs. So like these shakes, there's nothing wrong with me using whey. I don't have problems with whey like I do this other stuff. My cell phone's going to go dead shortly. It is? Okay, well, I'm getting both kinds then. Really? I didn't know hunger could do that. I only ever had belly pain when I was hungry. Sells whey protein in bulk for cheap. Really? Okay, so like I don't have to get, this stuff is made out of like, it's not made out of whey, and that might be why it's so expensive. I'm hoping to find, because I want the high calorie shake, but it doesn't matter if it's whey or not, and whey is probably cheaper. Can do many weird things. Now I'm finding out. And you know what? My body's changing. Think about it. Your body changes every 7 years. I'm 49 years old right now. My body is changing. So I definitely want to keep on top of exercise. But my exercise is really deep, long, stretching, and more like calisthenics to strengthen. So what I do is extremely low impact, but still it works on strengthening and flexibility and just breathing. But like you can hold positions for a long time. You know, if you go into a squatting position, try to hold that for 60 seconds, but you got to get real low. Oh yeah, you're going to feel it, all right. And again, you're just holding a position and strengthening it. So calisthenics at Sprouts, I added to oatmeal, really. I heard that you can add oatmeal. I saw somebody adding oatmeal to these shakes, you know. That's another thing I got into. Was you know what's light on the stomach? When I was looking for something sweet, really sweet, you know what I got? Pancakes. You're gonna love me for that one. Pancakes. Oh my goodness. And Rahab, I will use at least a tablespoon of butter for each pancake. And my pancakes are about the size of my hand, but I douse them in butter and I get that syrup. And I also got into eating cream of wheat. So, like with my shakes, sometimes it's like I'm hungry, but I don't know what I want. So I was sticking to the cream of wheat pancakes and shakes. But then my body every once in a while would crave a steak. So I'd go grab a steak and all I do is cook the steak, eat the steak, and my body was satisfied. Um, but I like the reason why I've been focused on pancakes and cream of wheat is because that's where, you know, hopefully I'll put some meat on my bones. And while I'm, you know, stretching with, I think it's called calisthenics, and I'll do sit ups and push ups. Um, hey, don't with your nails. I don't like it. Don't start doing that. No. I was thinking for the calories and um so yeah, but like every other day my body would crave some red meat. So I'd grab a steak. Be good. Like what I was doing honestly was I was having a nice fat juicy cheeseburger at the end of the day, and that with my pancakes, cream of wheat, and my shakes with eggs, banana, and milk and that. That's where I found my niche. That's where I found my niche. And it works. And maybe because, you know, the cream of wheat is a soft food, there's not a lot of chewing. So it's not like a shake where a shake, you know, is kind of runny and watery. At least cream of wheat, you don't have to chew it really. It's minimal chewing. So it's kind of more consistency. I don't know. Sometimes like eating is hard. High calorie, easy to digest. That's it. Easy to choke it down my neck. Yeah, the pancakes, cream of wheat, shakes with a cheeseburger or steak at the end of the day. And I started to feel like I was gaining weight. So I had a bad past few days. I'm hoping today I can get back up on the wagon with my shakes and everything. And keep on my good roll. Start taking care of myself. And I wish some of these older super soldiers would come back on the scene. Like, I wish Casbolt would come back on the scene. There's There's a couple other ones that are off grid. It'd be great if they came back too and started talking. Like the senior survivors, the people that came out ahead of us. Now, you know why they're off grid is because they don't want to deal with the crap either. A dietitian who made us a meal plan of shakes, oatmeal, applesauce, and eggs. Oh, I could do that. Ooh, applesauce. I should get some applesauce. I got to remember that. I love applesauce. I'll eat a whole bowl full of applesauce. I love eggs. Give me a hard-boiled egg with salt, pepper, and a little bit of mayo. I will turn it into a deviled egg and love it. That's all you could eat at the time. Sometimes that feels like all I could eat. I think I got myself in a rut there. So, the bridge is out. We are walking from here. We're better off walking anyway. Bridges are known for collapsing. London Bridge is always falling down. We got to stay away from those bridges. Definitely do not walk under one when there's an earthquake. Thank you so much, Rahab. Yeah, I've noticed that too, like even in, like when I do my holly-a-thons, when I'm upset, I'm still holding my composure. I'm still walking through things. I'm not vomiting. I'm not crying. Like, yeah, things have gotten better. Yeah, I always hated bridges too. Like when I go over to Pennsylvania, there's a lot of bridges in the area and traffic. And I can never get stuck under a bridge because I'm like, this thing's going to collapse on me. This thing's going to collapse on me. This thing's going to collapse. So what I'll do is I'll stop right by the bridge. I'll make sure that traffic goes and gives me enough space so I can just drive right, get past the bridge. I don't like going under them ever at any time. I certainly do not like being stuck in traffic underneath the bridge. No way. I had a dream a long time ago that we're going to have a terrible, terrible earthquake. I'm not sure if it comes from one of the seals opening, if it's because of this eclipse, but we're going to have a really bad earthquake, and it's the San Madrid. I'm going to feel it here. It's going to be a really bad earthquake. And in that dream that Abba gave me, when that earthquake hits, there's going to be a bunch of bridges collapsing on top of cars that are beneath them. Buildings are going to shake, fall over, and collapse. It's going to be a bad earthquake. So April next month, and for the rest of this year, I've got my eye on that San Madrid. If my attorney, Greg, who was my father figure, was still alive, he'd have his eye on that San Madrid too. Yeah, there are a lot of bridges in my area. Like when I moved here 4 years ago, the bridges here matched all the bridges in my dreams that I had been having since back in 2013 and 14 and 15. But when I got here, and I saw all those bridges and everything in reality. I mean, the laundromat, the ShopRite, the Walmart, the layout of my house, it all matched my dreams. Once I got here 4 years ago, that's when I knew I was living in a manifested dream, but this is where Abba wanted me to be. If I didn't make it here, I wouldn't. Okay, the fact that I made it here, I made all the right decisions to get me here. If I was still with the ex, I would not be here right now. If I stayed at that plastic religious couple's house, I would not be here right now. Abba wants me here at this place and point in time to go forward. See, Abba gave me, in 2013, I got down on my knees and I said, Abba, I do not see a future for myself. I want you. I want a future with you. What does it look like? And Abba gave me dreams. And basically Abba said, if you want me, this will be your life with me. But every time you wake up and go to sleep, it's your choice as to whether or not you want to follow the Lamb. If you follow the Lamb, here's what your life is going to be like. If you don't follow the Lamb, then you're not following me. And that's your choice, Holly. And I will respect your choice. Rahab. This is going to come out wrong, and I don't mean to sound pagan, but I feel like I got here just by the skin on my teeth. Because I had a dream of this place back in 2013. The layout, the way it appears in my cell phone. In reality, it's opposite. And it wasn't until I was running a live stream and I looked in my cell phone, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, that's the dream right there. That's the dream. My whole kitchen. My heart always got me in trouble, so I follow my dreams. I stopped listening to my heart in 2018, I stopped listening to my heart in 2019, and everything got way, way, way better for me. When I started to listen to my smarts instead of my heart, I started making the right decisions. And if I didn't land here, I can tell you I would have been out of Abba's will. So the fact that I got here, praise be to you, Abba. My walk is alone. It's just with him. So if there was some dude here at the house with me, then I would not be in his will. If I was somewhere else other than in this house, then I would not be following his will. If I stayed down in Germantown, Maryland, just because they called themselves Christian does not mean that they were in his will. Oh, Holly, you can live here as long as you want for free. No. I'd rather pay rent, not have to bother with you, and have my freedom than to live free and have you up my hoo-ha. Go away. That's why you got married. Go give your husband that kind of attention. Those people in Maryland were not in his will. They're probably still not in his will. Abba's hand was forced to send out the strong delusion October 2022. I know because he personally came to me and told me. He showed up in my kitchen with his head down so I could not see his face because nobody can see his face and live. And he walked straight up to me, put me in a bear hug, and cried. And he said, my hand was forced. Holly, they do not love me. They do not love the truth. They want their false doctrine. They want their fantasies. They want it their way. They want their will. They want their feel good. They just don't love me, Holly. They just don't love me. I asked Abba, why do you talk to me? And he goes, because you listen. And more than that, because you're listening, you answer back to me. I can have a two-way conversation with you, Holly. These other people, they use my name an awful lot, but they talk about me. They don't talk to me. And because they're talking about me, I can't engage them in a two-way conversation. They're not humbling themselves and putting themselves in my will. They're not praying with fasting. They're not coming to me. Most of these online ministries, your freedom deliverance ministries online, now that Russ Dizdar dead, I'm going to tell you right now, they're after your money. They're after your secrets because they're going to use your secrets against you as leverage. Do you hear me? You survivors, you victims, you people in particular, do not be trusting others online, especially people that charge you for courses. You should never have to pay for help. You should never have to pay for Yahuwah. You should not have to pay for any of that. Now, if you need a safe house and somewhere to go, okay, that you're looking at other expenses. That's a different conversation. But these online ministries that say that they're freedom deliverance ministries, do not trust them. You, especially if they're telling you, oh, tell us your secrets. First of all, you're not supposed to have secrets, but if you do, go to Abba, because he will not betray you and the things that you need to keep private. Don't be trusting any of these old ladies online that got big, fluffed up degrees. Okay? That doesn't mean squat. These freedom deliverance ministries, they want your tithings. They want your money. They don't care about it. They don't pray with fasting. No, what do? They come up with aliases and cover their true identity. That way, when they screw up, and that way, when they blame the victim, and it's really their fault for screwing up, they have no accountability because they gave you an alias. So it's the alias that screwed up, but then the person, they can just keep going on and do whatever they want. Oh, yeah, my name is Bridge. Oh, yeah, my name is Faith. Oh, yeah, my name is Grace. Oh, yeah, my name is Fern Gully. Oh, yeah, my name is. Doesn't Eminem have a song out? My name is. Will all the fakes, frauds, and liars in the Freedom Deliverance Ministries please stand up? Because there's more of you, the fakes, frauds, and liars that are up to no good, than there are the real servants of Yahuwah. The laborers are few, and the wolves are many. I'm a do-it-myself type person, so Abba led me to Russ Dizdar. Let me have at his videos and website. Listen to his videos, got all of his information, took what I needed, learned what Abba wanted me to know, and that's it. Training is done. Now it's time to be on the field using all these tools and techniques. You don't stay in training. You got to get out in the field and do something too. And paying a freedom deliverance ministry or paying for courses, that's not doing anything for Abba. You are just making somebody else have an easier time pay their rent, and they're not giving you a proper education. Write me out a list of questions. I'll answer them for free. I love you too, honey. I'll answer them for free. Don't like the bets. Yeah. I pray for you. Yeah, I'm going to do some prayer. I've been here for an hour and 48 minutes. I got to go get a kratom. And I'm looking for my cottage cheese, and then I'm coming back. My focus is going to be eating and then my exercise. But the stretching, deep, long stretching, and like I said, just the calisthenics, like some push-ups and sit-ups, but it's very light. I'm breaking in my body because I haven't worked out in so long. So, but it's something to get to do, but holding positions. All right. So I'll let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out with me. I do want to come back to do an internet radio broadcast, but I'll try to, I have I have an outline written up, so maybe I'll just use what I got here. But I was thinking that maybe I'll get back to talking about MK Ultra and satanic ritual abuse and DID more like I used to, because number one, YouTube took down all my videos, but number two, I can share all of my experience and what I've gone through and what I've learned. I can share all of it with people for free. So I can in theory undermine these online freedom deliverance ministries who are charging people money by running my broadcasts and just giving the people that information for which they seek for free. You don't need $1,200. You don't need $1,700. You don't even need $50. You just need your internet bill paid so you can listen to the broadcast. That's it. And you'd be paying your internet bill anyway because you want access to the internet. So that's the only money you're going to shell out when it comes to me. It's just so you're going to be paying for access to the internet. Come listen to me. I'll give you everything I got for free. And guaranteed you're going to learn more from me than you do from those ladies. And it all boils down to you got to rely on the Holy Spirit. You got to have a strong foundation in Him, which is the truth. You got to be all about Him. If people are not praying, and yes, the fasting is a big thing, because the fasting is how you get rid of principalities with their legions. I'm not trying to be an ass, but have you ever been stalked by powers and principalities? Have you ever been followed by AI? I'm not saying AI eavesdropping on you and then you go to your computer and boom, there's an ad for something you just talked about. No, I'm talking about AI actually following you when the radio and TV shows are actually speaking directly to you and the thoughts you're having. It's slightly different. The only way to get rid of like something like Lucifer and its legions or demonic possession, or if you're really being attacked really, really hard and you cannot make heads or tails of it, fast. Guaranteed, if you fast, you're going to get your answers. Lucifer does not want you to know that with fasting, you can bind and cast away him and his legions. Without fasting, you cannot do anything. So just remember that with fasting. And no, you don't have to give up just food. You can give up other things, drinking, smoking. I don't know, maybe you got a hobby you put before Abba. Maybe Friday night, movie night, you stay home and spend that time with him instead of going out with your friends. In my case, because I have nutrition and health situations, I cannot afford to miss a meal. So Abba, for my fasting, he tells me I expect you to eat 3 square meals a day with snacks, vitamins, minerals. And if you do that, I will accept your fasting. But I need you to eat right now, Holly. I need you to eat. But if you're going to eat, you're going to do it properly. And I'll make sure that I ask him, can I have this meal? Can I have this? Can I eat that? What do you want me to eat, Abba? What do you want me to have next, Abba? What's my body thirsting for? The fasting is really important. A lot of times I'll fast just to fast for repentance reasons. I'll fast because I just want to be close to Abba. And in that time, I get to be with him. So that's why I'm fasting. If I got big questions, I fast. And it could be, I try to do fasting. Like if I do a baptism or a blessing of a house, if somebody comes to ask me, say somebody says today, Holly, I want to bless my house. What are you doing tomorrow? I'd be like, I'm free. But then I would spend the rest of tonight and all of tomorrow up until I saw the person. I would spend that time in prayer and fasting and ask Abba, What do you want me to say? What do you want me to know? What do you want me to do? What's going to happen in this situation? Like, how's everything going to transpire and conclude? What are things that are really important, Abba, that I should keep my eye on for this? Abba, is there something right now that you want me to pay attention to when it comes to blessing this person's house? Are there items you want me to tell them to get rid of? Or not to tell them to get rid of, but to let them know that there's something off with the object so they can make a decision. So I'll use that time to be before him. So that's what, like about a 24-hour fast or something like that. I take other people's water baptisms and fire baptisms very seriously. Of course, I pray with fasting beforehand because I repent for my sins. And then I ask Abba, what do you want me to say at the baptism? How's all this going to work? Abba, thank you. Mainly, Abba, thank you for this opportunity that this person would come and ask me to do the honors and that I get to share in their big moment with you and I get to see heaven clap. Thank you for this opportunity. It's huge. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Abba, please, right now, I pray prayer intercessions for incoming retaliation attacks for doing the baptism. I can tell you right now, the kingdom of darkness is not going to like it, and they're going to attack me. And sometimes the attack even comes before the baptism happens, because I've had baptisms planned for like weeks or a month in advance. And demons have time to build up the attack and nail me before we even get to the baptism. Baptisms are really private and personal. Your at-home baptisms work. They're just as important as if you go to a highfalutin church to make them do the baptism. It's intimate. You're repenting to Abba and you're accepting his gospel. A lot of people want to be alone for that. I wanted to be alone for that. I had Keeper Seva and my Bible. But I told Abba, I want my baptism. And I don't know how all this stuff works, but I'm going to give myself a baptism. And what I did not know at the time in 2014 was that at-home baptism I did with my cat and dog and Bible open, that Abba accepted that, period. He just accepted it. I did not I wound up going in September 2015 to visit with Russ. And he's like, I'm doing baptisms, guys. So it's like, you're doing baptisms? Oh, Abba, I'll get baptized 10,000 times, Abba. I just want to be with you and have your attention. And I just love you. But anyway, back then, I was new to Abba, so it had not dawned on me that when I said, Abba, I'm determined to have you, I'm doing my own baptism, and I put myself in the shower, repented, accepted his gospel, said all the honors appropriately. He accepted that, and it mattered. It mattered. I did not have to go to Rustistar to have him baptize me. However, since he offered, I was like, yep, I'm ready. I'm going to do this publicly, okay? Especially because I'm a super soldier, especially because I come from the dumps. I don't know about people from my past because I don't have all my memories back. So there's people out there that remember me that I do not remember them, and I'm sorry, I wish I did remember them, but I don't have all my memories. They're very fragmented. And I wanted the people out there to know that I was dead serious about what I was doing with Heavenly Abba. That's it. Publicly stating, I'm not your super soldier anymore. I'm his SEAL. I want to work for him. I want to be his super soldier. And when I say SEAL, I meant it in a capacity of Navy SEAL. However, I'll be point blank honest. My whole life, I've told Abba, I want to go through the entire 7-year tribulation because I want to see you return on a cloud. And the only way to do that is to be chosen to be one of your 144,000 SEALs. I want to do it, Abba. I'll walk it. I'll walk it for you. I'll walk it for me. I just want to see your return. And the only way I can do that is to make it through the 7-year tribulation. And given that I just made it through the dumps, all right, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, Abba. I'm going to give it a shot. And worst case scenario, I'll die trying, but I'll be trying to walk it the 7 years. Especially after what I went through, the least I could do is carry your gospel. And I want my whole entire life and existence and being to go to glorify you and what you can do, your power, your authority, your glory. And just you, Abba. Worship to him. Praise be to him and only to him in Yahushua's name. So, yeah. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew I was getting right with God. And I hope that they do too. And no, God did not strike me down dead. Abba accepted me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want the other people from the dumps to know, is that if they go seeking him like I did, and they're genuine about it, he's going to accept them just like he did me. And I'm a created human. And I repented to him. I meant it. And he forgave me. And now with my life, all I want to do is serve him. I honestly want to be all about Abba. Just all about him and what he wants and what he's doing and what's going on with him. And I want more of him. He's my everything, but I need more of him. For all those people that don't want Abba, I'll take their plates. I'll take that piece of you that they don't want because I want more of you. And yeah, I'll do the work on their plate too, just so I can have piece of you they don't want. I want you. I'm jealous over you, Abba. That's why I call you my golden bow. You're mine. I'm not Sharon. I'm Holly. All right, guys, I've been yipping at you for 2 hours. I'm going to follow Rahab's lead, and I'm going to go do some prayers with Abba and see what Abba's up to, and maybe finish drawing him my picture. I started Abba a picture, and I didn't have the decency to finish it yet. No, I did not finish it yet. So what I was going to do is I was going to put YHWH in the center, and then I was going to make a pretty design around the rest. But I don't know what kind of design to make. I'm stumped. So glory, reverence, honor, obedience, worship, and praise be to Yahuwah in Yahushua's name. I just have to keep in mind that people have not devoted their entire existence to him like I have. Because I do push too hard. And I cannot be pushing people. That's another reason why I'm not a counselor, because I see how I push myself. Pushing myself is fine. That's me. I don't need to be a drill sergeant with other people, okay? It's not going to help other people. Well, sometimes it can, but... All right, thanks for chilling with me. Thanks for hanging out with me for 2 hours. And good morning. I hope you have a beautiful, mad Monday. Thanks, Angel Mist. I was wondering where you were, if you happened to see it. You popped in my head about 15 minutes ago. I was like, I wonder if she got a notification. I hope those report users went back to that person's main IP address and YouTube. I'll point blank say, I pray YouTube shuts down these people IP address and just says you're no longer allowed to use our services. In Yahushua's name, Selah. Like this address, people from this address are not allowed to get on a YouTube. That's what I'm hoping for in Yahushua's name. Hey, Christ is King, you just woke up. Good morning. I hope you have a beautiful day. And today is Monday, 8:58 a.m., March 18th, 2024. I don't celebrate Patty's Day. I don't even know who Patty is. And as far as a saint, I don't pray to saints. I pray for saints. I don't pray. Like, I don't pray to them. I pray for the people that are going to be saints. Saints are somebody that died, that are like died already, right? Like saints are people that died and are up there with Yahusha. So like right now, the last thing I want to do is be called a saint. Can you imagine? You know that when you're in the chat room and people go, "Oh, good morning, saints," they're basically calling you a dead person. A little green Lucky Charm. They're basically calling you a dead person. It's good to be dead in Christ and with Christ, but they're rushing things a little bit, right? They're like, yeah, I want to be a saint, but you don't have to push me too quickly. Like Mother Teresa literally was no saint. I don't know who all these other saints are, but I don't know. I guess that's a Catholic thing. But I noticed other people do that saint stuff too. I don't get it. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go so I can figure out what I'm doing with myself and find a dentist. Oh, but please lead me to a dentist. And can I have a male dentist? Please, can I have a guy dentist? I don't know why, but I'll be honest. I'm not big on women doctors, okay? Except as a gynecologist, because I figure she's got one, she'd know about it. I just don't like women doctors. If they're having a bad day, then you're not getting your medicine. All right. If they're PMSing, you're not going to get your medicine, and you're going to have a very bad office visit to boot. Women are always moody and emotional, and I don't like dealing with it. Like even working for AT&T, pharmacy, and all those other places, I did not like the women bosses. There was one lady, Brenda. I loved having her as a boss. I had a couple bosses that were women, but the majority of them, oh man. I worked for this one director in AT&T. Her first name was Kimberly. She only got to be a director because her father was some uppity up in AT&T. So basically, because it was her father, she was promoted. And that stuff was like frowned upon in AT&T, yet they still did it. Oh, that's your friend? Okay, we'll just automatically promote them. And meanwhile, the person doesn't know what they're doing. They're not qualified for the job. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you later. Did I miss any comments? And they're all ugly and good. What, the leprechauns? Yeah, leprechauns are ugly. Don't tell them I said that. I wish I could do the Irish accent, but I can't. All right, I'll see you guys later. I barely get through my Zelensky accent. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. It's a rhinoceros. Look at how big your butt is. I did not know kitties' butts got that big. What are you doing? Are you sunbathing? I had a dream about Rumble last night. You guys were in the dreams too. You kept bringing me to dark places, telling me to fight demons. and nobody was looking out for Rumble. I was worried he was going to run away. But it's a good thing he follows me because he followed me all the way back to the house. So, wacky dreams last night. Really wacky. I was with you guys in my dreams, though. I don't know what you were doing, but you guys were driving me nuts. I mean, we were going places. Places. Hiking great distances. We were all over. And Rumble was there too. I think that just means that all of us are going to be working hard today. We'll be at it doing different things in different places, but we're all going to be working. We're all going to be thinking about Abba, doing something. We're all going to be fighting about demons. They're fighting to get rid of demons. Not fighting about demons, but fighting to get rid of them. Normal day at the Baglio residence. Hey, Amanda, it's great to see you, honey. We got to fight some trolls. I can't believe that. Rahab this morning, that was only a couple of trolls. I mean, these brats and hags pelt me. That was pretty light this morning. I guess it was only the hag awake and the brats were not yet awake to tell the hag how to spam my chat room with sock accounts. But, yeah. Rotten people. Yeah, it took me 9 years to build up my channel, and it took them a couple of minutes to destroy it with a gaming console. They're gamers. These kids are gamers. They're into Roblox and all this other crap. I don't get into it. And then the ninnies that are directing these brat kids, they're into gay porn. I don't get that. What would a bunch of old women want to do watching gay porn? God almighty. Now, these are what the people that troll me are into. And then the old ninnies lie and say that they're a super soldier, or they're an Uberman. Yeah. I don't know if I got rid of them, but I'm trying. I have to put up the parameters on my page that says you can't talk unless you've been subscribed for 5 months. Well, that sucks because you know how many new people I meet? I'm always meeting new people. I want to invite them into my chat room, and now I can't have them into my chat room because of these brats and ninnies, immature children, and ninnies are old, foolish, unwise people. A hag is a witch. And they all come under the name of Jesus. That's what I don't get. What they think slapping that word Christian makes it so they're going to get in heaven, or makes it so they're doing God's work. You actually have to be in his will and in his truth to be doing his work. You're running around talking about a rapture? Okay, you're not doing his work. Whatever you're doing it for that false entity that gave you the false doctrine. That's the work you're doing because you're acting off of behalf of that false doctrine that a false entity gave you. That does not get into heaven. I know it doesn't, because when I died, I landed in hell. And yeah, I believed in that rapture doctrine. Abba told me there is no rapture. There's 2 resurrections. No, he's not coming. There's no rapture. There's no rapture at the beginning. There's no rapture in the middle. There's none at the end. There's a gathering at the end where he gathers his 144,000 and then, first he resurrects the people that gets their heads chopped off during the tribulation, and then he gathers 144,000. But I would not call that a rapture. I would call that him gathering us, restoring us, and giving us glorified bodies, and opening up the dimensions above us that were once opened up to Adam and Eve when they were in the Garden of Eden. I don't consider that a rapture at all. I've already been raptured, and I'm still on earth. All right, I'm not going to get into this rapture doctrine. I have a friend. I want to be able to help my friend with their family problems, but they're having family problems because my friend allowed the Jezebel spirit in. What's the Jezebel spirit? Her false doctrine. A family doesn't respect her. And you know what? Would you respect somebody that has embraced false doctrine? No, you would think there's something wrong with them. Why cannot they embrace the truth? Why not embrace the truth? Why has it got to be a lie? And you know how stupid people sound saying that God's going to come and take them before there's any trouble? But yet, look at the 6 million Jews that were gassed to death in World War II. So because this person opened up their lives to the Jezebel spirit, this person's going to keep having the problems that they have. Nothing's ever going to get better. If she renounces this false doctrine and she binds and casts away the Jezebel spirit, her family problems are going to go away. The family will respect her because now she's in the truth and not talking about some crazy event that it sounds crazy. And it doesn't even sound like the God from the Bible, how he's all of a sudden going to rapture us. He never did anything like that in the past. Well, she's swept away with the Jezebel spirit. And because she's swept away with the Jezebel spirit, I cannot help her with spiritual warfare. She's listening to the wrong voice. She's got the wrong God in her house, and she's dead set on calling it Jesus. And she will not listen to anybody else because she's right about this rapture. So Abba's going to hand her over to what she wants. She does not want to carry his gospel. She wants a rapture. He's going to give her over to the Jezebel spirit. So while everybody's praying for a rapture, Holly Baglio is praying to see his return and make it through the 7-year tribulation. That's a big difference. You know how many people are praying for a rapture? Oh, Abba's going to give them what they want. He'll turn them over to what they want. And when they find out that they're listening to the wrong voice, it's going to be too late. It'll be during the 7-year tribulation. And they will not have time to get to know his voice. But it's going to be really, really hard because the restrainer is not Archangel Michael. The restrainer is the Holy Spirit. So when the Holy Spirit is taken away from the world, no, we're not leaving with the Holy Spirit. Have him inside you already with an umbilical cord and foundation in him, an umbilical cord with him. So you still have him inside. Because if not, when the restrainer's taken away, we ain't going anywhere. But if you don't have him, at that point, you're not going to be able to again because he's gone. In the Bible, we hear how people are not going to hear the bridegroom's voice anymore. The restrainer is going to be taken away. There's going to be a lack of his name in the land, so much so that rocks are going to explode for a lack of his name. So when that restrainer, the Holy Spirit, is taken away, it is not Archangel Michael. No, it's not. The restrainer is his Holy Spirit, the Spirit of resurrection. When that's taken away, if you do not have him, you're not going to be able to find him. You're not going to be able to hear his voice. And these people with the false doctrine, they got Jezebel spirits. They're taken up with Jezebel. And they're swearing up and down it's God, and they're swearing up and down they would know God anywhere. And meanwhile, they've embraced the Jezebel spirit. Or they think they can do it their way. Oh, Holly, God knows my heart. Yeah, and it's wicked. And he told you to renounce it, and he told you to turn from your wicked ways. Stop making excuses of why you should stay in sin and start telling yourself ways to get out of sin. Not bury it on more and pile it on with more false doctrine and more false prophecy and more false teachings. And then you go out and you spew all that falseness onto other people. And then you bicker with them. Well, if you don't believe me and my rapture, then you're going to be left behind. Meanwhile, do you know how much effort it takes Abba for people to realize that he's not going to abandon them? And there you are telling another person that unless they believe what you believe, God's going to abandon them? Who the hell do you think you are? You are not a Christian. Telling people God's going to abandon them unless they listen to your opinion. It's not an opinion. It's written, Holly, the rapture is real. No, it's not written, and the rapture is not real. The elites gave that false doctrine to the church, so the church could become lazy. And that's exactly what the church did, was accept false doctrine so it could become lazy and fall away from advancing the kingdom of heaven. They want it their way. They don't want it God's ways. They don't want it his way. Look at these people. Oh, God, what we cannot do a full 10 commandments. That's too much. Just give us 2 out of the 10. They don't love him. What, 10 is too much for you? You can have 10 fingers, but God cannot give you 10 orders? Inconsiderate, selfish people. There is no commandment, love thy neighbor. And the reason why Yahushua said to love your neighbor is so that way people would turn around and obey, follow, revere all the commandments. The last 6 commandments tell you how to love your neighbor. You leave one of those commandments out, then you're not loving your neighbor. The first 4 commandments tell us how to love God. These so-called Christians are always playing games. They want it their way. You go to McDonald's then, okay? You want it your way. Go to McDonald's. It's about humbling ourselves to him and his ways. Holly, how is it that you hear from God so much? How is it? I live in his ways. I do not get involved with imposters. I stay away from the fake Jesus. I stay away from ministries that preach the false messages that you cannot find in the Bible, such as the rapture, such as getting a white horse and a double-edged sword, such as these so-called Christians are all of a sudden on that cloud returning with Yahushua, or they're on a white horse returning with Yahushua, and they are outright stealing his power, stealing his glory. And on that day, I want to see his face, not their ugly puckers. I don't want to see their nasty faces. I just want to see Yahushua. The saints are not returning with him. And the saints do not get a white horse. God is not going to turn these saints into a bunch of murderers, put them on a white horse, say, here's a double-edged sword, now go kill a bunch of people that never did anything to you. He clearly says that wrath, vengeance, and anger are his. And you get these online ministries stealing that from him. The worst is when they're stealing his glory, saying that they're returning with him. I will never have to worry about seeing them on a white horse because Yahuwah is never going to share his power, his glory. He's never going to share it. Praise be to Abba. Because on that day, his day, I don't want to see Marzulli or any of these online ministries. I just want to see my Savior. I don't want to see these saints. And people saying that they're returning with him, all they're doing is stealing his glory, stealing his honor, stealing his power. And how dare they? And then they still call themselves a Christian, and I'm not allowed to say anything, but I got to sit there and listen to the crap they spew. Abba, I am so sorry that you're the object they're lying about. Just like others not saying the blessings they get are due to Abba and not themselves. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people steal credit for Abba. Oh, look what I've done. And they don't say, Abba did this for me. Abba healed me. Or Abba gave me this. Or Abba did this for me. They never give him credit. They never give him praise or glory. They just take it for themselves as if they're just so wonderful. And because I, Holly Baglio, preach a true message, they belittle me. But Abba keeps reminding me that he never made a mistake. He never made a mistake with me. And these old hag ninnies, if they're so close to God and know so much about God, and their psychology degrees, their college degrees matter so much, then how come they don't have this from Abba? I worked for that. I didn't just snap a button and now shazam, I got God. I had to escape the dumbs. I had to go through a freedom deliverance where I was set free from Thoth, Beelzebub, Osiris, and a few other things. I bear my cross. I do the work. I don't charge people money. I give all the credit to Abba. I pray for people. I don't lie to them. Thank you. Right, and I'm still here every day too. Same here. Yeah, people try to say, oh, Holly's right in the middle. She doesn't want to put herself out there. So she just stays right in the middle. She doesn't take care of anybody. She's just a partier. She's about to party. Meanwhile, here I am doing water and fire baptisms, and those old hag ninnies, they're not doing any. Bridge ruined 2 of them, and now she's taking off. I'm not chasing her after she ruined those 2 baptisms, a bunch of broadcasts, and some other things that she was doing to me behind the scenes, which were very condemning and had a lot of contempt against me. And she undermined me and stole my testimony and then betrayed me to a group of other people, saying that because I'm public, that she had right to betray me. No. No. I should have addressed the red flags. Bridge was never an authority about anything, but she tried to come across as she was one. But she used means of bullying and intimidation to make sure that she was always right and you were to always be wrong. And the old hag ladies that stole my testimony to make money off my testimony, they have the same religious spirit, better than thou, holier than thou spirit. They're not going to listen. They know it all. And they're Christians, so they're going to heaven. And oh, Holly, her videos, oh, they're cute little outbursts. But don't listen to the content of the video. They took my slogan, hostess with the mostest, keeping Yahusha the focus, that my brother in Christ, who I know to have the Lamb, my brother in Christ and Yahusha, my golden bow, the 3 of us created my slogan, and they tore it apart. I can't wait for them to get a radio show so I can hear their slogan and I can hear their opening credits and I can just tear it apart using the same measure that they showed me. They're just pissed off that they could never be a hostess with the mostest because they're so nasty. They're pissed off that Yahusha chose me. They're pissed off I call him my golden bow, for I'm his holy white hot silver arrow. I'm his silver arrow. They don't have that with them. They don't have that intimate, active, personal relationship with him. That's why they bash mine. They're all about money, tithing. They want your tithes. They want your attention. And meanwhile, they're not even bound for heaven themselves. They're not chasing the Lamb themselves. They're not relying on the Holy Spirit. They're not in God. And I'll tell you what, those forms of godliness, it's taken me years. I'm going to tell you, I got to say, honestly, up until now, the past 9 years, you know what's gotten me? Those forms of godliness. when somebody talks a really great game, they've got that vocabulary. They just seem to always know the right things to say and how to word things, right? They got that little sparkle in their eye and they sound so godly and they sound so close to Jesus and they sound like they know what they're talking about. And meanwhile, they don't. It's only a form of godliness. A version of Yahusha is not the truth. It's a version. You need the full truth to have the truth. A version of the truth is still a lie. Right, some like to talk to ruin others' names, but Father always makes the truth show. Oh, and I'll be honest, the reason why these ladies give you a different alias is because they intend to screw up. And when they screw up, the screw-ups stay with the alias's name, but they and their real name are clear. Stay in the clear because they've done nothing wrong. So they can screw up on their alias name and have no accountability or responsibility because that falls on the alias name. And now them with their real name walk away scot-free without having to answer for anything that they've done wrong under that alias. You never trust somebody who gives you an alias. Why? So their alias takes the fall, but their real name is not held accountable. Their real name has no responsibility for what they did under an alias. So what Bridge did under her alias of Bridge, it doesn't matter because now she can go change it to Faith and keep talking to people and do to them what she just did to me. And when she screws up with that alias, don't worry, she's going to go get another one called Grace. And when she screws up that, don't worry, you still don't have her real name, do you? Exactly. And that's what these bigger name ministries do too. These online bigger ministries, bigger online churches, they do the same thing. You want to know their real names and their real identities? There is something called charitynavigator.org. It's been around since 2018. That charitynavigator.org, when these online ministries give you an alias, you can go there and find out their real name and all of their information should they have a 501c3. If they don't have a 501c3, then just do not trust that person to begin with because they're operating under false pretenses. Oh, Holly, I can't give my ID because the demon attacks are so bad. You're supposed to be a king's kid. Stop with that excuse. Oh, well, Holly, because I help survivors, I can't give my real name. You don't want the bad guys looking at me. The bad guys will never look at you. Don't worry about it. And you do not need an alias. Russ Dizdar never used an alias. Neither did his SIIU team. Another reason why God led me from my dreams into reality to Russ Dizdar, because Russ Dizdar never played those games with aliases. He was on point. People may not have liked him, but he was on point. He may not have had a bedside manner. Doesn't matter. He was on point. And he didn't play games like that. So my advice to you guys, do not let happen to you what I let happen to me. And I was stupid because I ignored the red flags. They were constantly there. But I was treated lesser, like I was stupid, like I didn't know any better. And for a little while there, she had me believing it too. But then Abba shook me and said, Holly, wake up. What are you doing? She just stole your testimony. You know, the one that you and I wrote together, she just stole it and she's trampling all over it. And now she's got these other people that have aliases stealing your work and making money off of your work. They think because they have big degrees and make over $92,000 a year that they can get away with doing this to victims. Holly, they stepped on the wrong victim this time. They stepped on you. And I'm not going to put up with it, Holly. So yeah, the bridge is out. We're walking. But did you really want to take a bridge anyway? I sent on 2 separate occasions. I sent that person a message, and she was playing her narcissistic Christian reindeer games. I expect a phone call. No. You're always telling me to write messages. So when you go to your counselor in your counseling session, you and your counselor open up your emails and write people back. You and your counselor, Bridge, write people back. It's not even coming from you. And you're showing somebody else my emails? You're betraying me. You're betraying me to the counselor. I never gave my permission for that. And just because you're in counseling and they're bound by a duty of confidentiality does not mean you get to betray me and what I've told you in confidence. I'm not chasing her around when she ruined 2 baptisms and a bunch of broadcasts, and then was belittling me in private to the point I couldn't even take phone calls from her. So condescending. Oh, Holly, you talk down to people. What are you talking about? You're never in my broadcast. You're not even on Facebook. You don't know who I talk to. What, you think you're the only person in my life? No, you're not. And I got to be honest with you. Every time I ran a broadcast with Bridge and she did all the talking, I fell asleep. That's why I never interjected, is because I was literally sleeping. So instead of going through that suffering and suffrage, I decided to terminate it because there was nothing coming out of doing any broadcasts with her. Nobody was listening to them anyway. Like, seriously, nobody was listening to them anyway. The first couple of broadcasts, yeah, people listened to, but then after that, nobody was showing up. They'd show up to say hi and then drop off. And half of the stuff she said, people were like, it's religiousness. That's Catholicism. She's incorrect about that. She's wrong about Admiral Byrd. So she and her notes should go on her own channel. I'm not here to promote her. I don't support her. I don't promote her. I do not agree with the majority of stuff she says. And I said to Abba, show me her. And the next thing I know is I'm getting a phone call how this online ministry has stolen my testimony and now is charging people money to take courses where they trash me. And I'm not a victim. I've had full reintegration since December 2022, and they don't mention that in their courses. They make me sound like a drug addict whore in their courses. That's slander, and they're charging people to talk about me. Okay, no. I am seeking legal counsel, and I'm going to sue them, period. This is why I copyrighted everything I do. My autobiography, my drawings. Even in my autobiography, it talks about HTV and my ruminations and confessions. My life is copyrighted to prevent this from happening. And Bridge thinks because she can just go do whatever she wants. And these other ladies, they think they can do whatever they want at my expense to make a name for themselves while trashing mine. They never asked my permission. The other colleges, the other people came to me and asked my permission. These old hags never asked my permission. They went behind my back and did it. And more than that, these old hags, the ministry that stole my testimony, they told people in their courses, don't tell anybody what we talk about in the courses, okay? Because you have to pay to take these courses, and it's copyrighted material, so don't tell anybody outside what we talk about. And meanwhile, what they're talking about in their courses is me. And that's how they've been able to hide it since, because I have all of their information right here. They have been doing this to me since, wouldn't you know it, their classes started in the year 2022. When did I start letting Bridge come on as a guest only? 2022, right? Yup. Because she's twisted up in the 501c3s. Thank you, Amanda. The rest of my support system literally was crying when they found all of this out, between the ministry that stole my testimony to charge people $1,700 to take their course, where they trash me in their course. My support system, my attorney, everybody upset and crying. How could they do this to you, Holly? How could they do this to any survivor, Holly? Go get them, because you got copyrights where the other survivors don't. Go get them, Holly. We'll help you. Go talk to your attorney. What do you need? We'll set up fundraisers. So, guys, that's where I'm at. But don't you worry. These aliases have already been changed to something else, because they don't take responsibility or accountability for what they do. Nope. And now I know why most of them are divorced, having lost their kids to the husband. Yeah, now I know why. I should have listened to those red flags. But this other ministry, I had never heard about them until people came to me to say, Holly, they're talking about you. But they told us not to share what they talk about in their courses because it's copyrighted. And I was like, oh, so that's why I haven't heard about it sooner, is because they're hushing everybody to silence while they talk about me and steal my work and my testimony and my life story. And to boot, they don't even tell the truth about me. And yes, she's got connection to that ministry. If you think I'm chasing that around to call her on the phone, you got another thing coming. She's always been obsolete. I'm not chasing around somebody that, number one, doesn't have the lamb. Number two, trashes me. Number three, is not grateful to have opportunities to do baptisms. Says they're a Christian, but not grateful to Abba to have the opportunity to perform a baptism for someone else. And the condemnation, the thieving that's gone on by these old hag ninnies. They stole from me. They betrayed me. And I want to stress, all of you guys have had a hand in my life and in my recovery. You guys were here for me when I wrote that book. Those old hag ninnies, as well as the other one, Bridge, they were not around when I was writing that book. You guys were. So, my support system is really upset, and so are the rest of my friends, that they have done this. I kid you not, my support system has cried. My support system is angry, and so are my friends, because of what this ministry has done to me, as well as what that other situation with that other person going by an alias has done to me too. These people aren't survivors. These people are not risking their lives to do what I'm doing. I'm literally risking my life. I'm the one that survived these cages. I've got more than skin in the game. I've got blood. I've got more than just horses in this race. And this is what these people do to me. They can't use their own name. They got to use Holly Baglio's name. They got to trash my work. They can't keep to their own plate, to their own lives. Meanwhile, this ministry that stole my testimony and is making money off of it, selling courses to trash me and lie about me, I've never met them in my entire life. Never had one email, not one conversation, never in my chat, never spoke to them, never met them, never spoke to them. And this is what they do to me. I think the open door was when the bridge was in full access. Now that's a figurative comment. I think that the bridge is what gave them full access to me, unbeknownst to me, and that's why this ministry online stole my testimony to try to start selling courses on how to coach survivors, because on the back end, Bridge was feeding them information that I would have never agreed to them having. I never agreed to any of this. This was done behind my back. All of this. These people never asked my permission. These people never asked me if they could talk about me in their course. They never met me. And now all of a sudden this ministry pops up with my testimony, stealing it. Where did the open door come from? Somebody came to me and said, Holly, there was information being fed into this ministry that stole your testimony to set up courses and start charging people to take the courses. Holly, who's the open door of the person that betrayed you? Because you were betrayed for these old hag ninnies from this ministry to do this. Who was the person, Holly? Who did it? Stop protecting the bad guy, Holly. Who did it to you? Just give me their name. You don't deserve this, Holly. Do not protect the bad guy, Holly. They've accused you. They've persecuted you. They've stolen from you. They've lied about you. Who is it? You expose evil, Holly. You don't cover it up. And on that note, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here. But you need to understand, it's not just me that got hurt. It's all of my support system that had a hand in my life that's also hurting and reeling from this. This is a very bad thing. So please warn the other victims and the other survivors to be very careful, because these online freedom deliverance ministries, they do not have your best interest in mind. And I know exactly who they are. And you know my name, so you can call me, talk to me, lean on my shoulder. We can pray to Abba together. Turns out I've been confiding in the enemy this whole time. So, well, I'm done. I'm done being used by the enemy. So I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. And I know exactly who did this to me. And I do actually have their real names and addresses and phone numbers. I'm suing them. And I can tell you what, if I was stupid and I did not sue them, my support system would take over and sue them for me. But I am suing these people. This is why I got copyrights, was for this reason alone. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there, because I want to go figure out what I'm going to do with my day. Eat, dentist, exercise, hopefully answer some private messages. But first and foremost, I'm going to edit my autobiography. I've got 2 copyrights on my autobiography already. And these people think that they can just trash it. I think maybe Abba put me in this place because I'm the one victim that they're going to regret stepping on. Abba's going to punish them. Abba's going to have his wrath, vengeance, and anger on these people. And that's what's scary. It's in his will that no one perish. He gives me the gift of sight. And these people, I saw their courses. I saw one of their courses where they were talking about me. And when I looked at 3 of those ladies in their eyes, I did not see the Lamb. I did not see colors. Colors mean that Yahusha is shining through the person. The people were not even dark. Dark. Dark would mean they don't have God. They don't love him. They just don't have him. So they're dark. These people were nothing but gray and in the gray area. Abba says that when he returns, if you're lukewarm, he's going to spit you out of his mouth. Lukewarm people look like they're in shades of gray. They don't have any colors, and they're not black. Black being cold, colors being hot. They've got none. They don't have colors, and they don't have black. They've got nothing. I have the watchman's gift. I can see people burning in hell now before they get there later. And all I see is, when I look at that ministry who stole from me, the bigger picture is that they've not only lost this lawsuit, but they've lost their holy place. Well, I got to be honest, they never had a holy place in the holy city. There's no standing room in heaven. Either Yahusha builds you a room in the New Jerusalem, or he does not build you a room in the New Jerusalem. The New Jerusalem is where we live with him forever, ever after. The New Jerusalem is not the church. That's false doctrine, and that's a false teacher that's giving you that false doctrine. I didn't make up the rules. I'm not the one breaking the rules. The New Jerusalem is where we live with him forever and ever. He showed me the New Jerusalem and my room there that he built. These people, oh my God. These people got a lot to worry about. Oh, I've forgiven them. I've forgiven me. They're still getting sued though. And they don't have our Savior. The Lamb's not with them. And I can see it. I should have asked Abba to show me Bridge a lot sooner than when I did. Because I just asked him that this year in 2024. I should have asked him that back in 2021, the first time I ever let her up on my panel with you guys. She had me fooled. I tell you, it's that form of godliness. But now that I've recognized that form of godliness, now I'm going to be a force to be contended with, because now I'm going to be able to see through all the bullshit, all the malarkey. Now I'll be able to see through that form of godliness and not be taken advantage of by it again. These people with big glossy vocabularies, listen, they're no closer to God. They're no closer to God than, they're not close to God. Forms of godliness and big glossy vocabularies. So they make themselves sound good with a big glossy vocabulary. Forms of godliness. This is not an outburst. This is the truth. You know what? My true friends know me. Abba knows me. He knows my name, and I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest in that and have that be my sanctuary, so these rotten scoundrels don't bother me, and I'm productive the rest of the day. Normally, this stuff would have thrown me over the edge. To have my biography and all of my work stolen like this, and then people making money off of me and my name like this without ever asking me permission, that is enough to make another human being commit suicide. And these ladies did that to me. They did something that bad. That bad. If they did this to another victim, the victim is liable to commit suicide. Sign themselves into a mental hospital, have a nervous breakdown. What was done to me by this Freedom Deliverance Ministry, stealing my testimony, making money off of it, is enough to ruin the individual they did it to. This is a big deal, what they've done. Because if they did this to another victim, the chances of that victim committing suicide, having a nervous breakdown, losing it, the odds are higher. Not every victim has God like I do. Not every victim has that foundation in God like I got. Abba, please engage these people directly. Please bring your wrath, punishment, anger, and vengeance with you when you deal with these people. Not only for the people that stole my testimony, are making money off my name, my testimony, by lying about me, but also the people that betray me. And I pray for others that are in my same situation too. Abba, please engage the bad guy that did this to us in Yahushua's name. Please bring your wrath, vengeance, anger, and engage them with it. Please judge them. Please punish them. Because if these people were really your children and really relying on your spirit, they would have never touched my testimony to begin with. Because if they were relying on you, Abba, you would have told them no. I would have told them no, too. And that's why they went behind my back to do it. Abba, you see what they've done behind my back and what they've done to other victims. Please judge them accordingly. Please punish them accordingly. Abba, please have them exposed. All of these old hag ninnies. Please expose them and bring them to justice and punishment in Yahushua's name. They're not helping victims. They're victimizing people is what they're doing. And I know for a fact that they're not relying on your Holy Spirit, Abba. They're doing things wrong at this online ministry just like Douglas Riggs was doing wrong. Abba, that needs to stop. All right, on that note, I am going to end it. These people did not just do me wrong. They did my entire extended family wrong. They did my support system wrong. And I'll tell you, my support system, they're not handling this very well. They've all told me, if you need witnesses, give your attorney my name, whatever I can do, Holly. What I'd like to know, honestly, what I'd like to find out is a class action lawsuit. Because I can, if I'm the only victim they did this to, fine, I'll walk it alone. But there's got to be somebody else out there. The problem is that I've made a name for myself, but still, even for a victim that does not have a name for themselves, that's what I need to do. I need to go to that person and ask them what else was spoken about, what other victims' names were spoken about in those courses. class action lawsuit. So we'll see. But let your will be done. But I'm dead set on suing them. I have not used names. I have not given details to even clue anybody in as to who did what. Like, you guys have no idea who I'm talking about, and I know you don't. And I have not let on to who I am talking about. And like I said, I got their real names and real info. I have not even used their aliases. And as far as Bridge, well, Bridge is her second name. That's not the first name she was going by. She's gone by a couple of these different names like that. It's not a real name. And Bridge was the second time she changed her alias. Yeah, I forget what the first one was. So I'm sure tomorrow she's going to be Grace. Or Faith. Or Loyal. She might go by the name of Loyal. Thanks for your time, and thank you for this Ruminations and Confessions. Thank you for this hangout session. Thank you for my therapy session. Thank you for your camaraderie. Thank you for your comfort. Thank you for your time and hanging out with me and talking to me, praying together, and spending time together. Thanks for kicking around with me. I love you guys. I'll see you later. You can zap people and lights on. Yep. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Yahusha blessings. Yahusha blessings to the people that are really his kids, okay? Not to the liars.